What's up, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode or a brand new segment right here on Stay and Play. And I'm calling this segment the QTE news events or QTE news. I don't know. For those gamers like me, QTE stands for Quick Time Events. So I thought that would be a nice play on words for this segment. So this is the Quick Time Events news segment or QTE news segment where I will cover interesting news or gaming news topics that have happened recently. Some things I cover might be new, some things I cover might be old, but I just want to share my thoughts on these events. And if you have your thoughts on these events, please don't forget to leave them in the comment section below. And please don't forget to hit that like, that subscribe, and ring the notification bell for all my latest videos. So gamers, we've been through a lot. Loot boxes, NFTs. The one time Ubisoft thought you'd pay for a digital watch inside a game. But this week, or this month, we could say, it looks like the industry looked us dead in the eye and said, you thought this was bad? Hold my $80 caramel macchiato. So let's start off with Bungie and Bungie's whole situation. So Bungie, you know, the people who gave us Master Chief and then emotionally checked out after Destiny 2's third expansion, decided that making new art was just too time consuming. Enter Operation Pinterest Heist. Yeah, an indie artist named Anti-Real found out that her work from 2017 was in the alpha build of Bungie's new game, Marathon. And not like inspired by. No. We're talking pixel for pixel tracing. The kind of trace work you do in Microsoft Paint because Photoshop is just too damn scary, right? According to Windows Central, when caught, Bungie pointed the finger at a former developer, of course, right? Which is corporate speak for, we fired Dave, now let's act like he's the Zodiac Killer, right? Blame everything on Dave. See, here's what's wild though. This isn't the first time that Bungie has been caught stealing artwork, right? They had the whole fiasco with Destiny 2. But also that this might actually delay Marathon, right? I'm sure the heads and the corporates at Sony are just like, why did we spend all this money on Bungie? Why? But let's see, maybe there's a silver lining in this somewhere, right? So like I said, they might actually delay Marathon. Like Bungie might have to do the entire visual identity of the game, all because someone couldn't resist the temptation of right-clicking and saving as, all right? So Dave, wherever you are, oh, naughty. We'll see. So yes, so that is what is happening with Bungie at the moment. A lot of loads and loads of stuff happening in the background there, from employees not being happy, head management just doing the wrong thing. Will this era of unwanted or unnecessary activities happening behind the scenes in Bungie end? We don't know. We will see. But I definitely know that Sony is got their finger on the pulse right now for Bungie, and if they haven't already started their corporate takeover, they're going to definitely do it, because this is definitely not looking good for Sony, and especially with the amount of money they dropped, right? So yeah, very, very interesting, sad, but also funny in a way news in terms of Bungie. All right, let's move on to the next segment. Oh, what is that? That is my alarm. Sorry about that. All right, so Rockstar Games just pulled, and we're gonna be late on GTA 6 again. As I'm sure everyone knows, Rockstar has moved GTA 6 to next year, May 2026. Now, officially, according to them, it's to make the best game possible. Add some polish here, spit and shine over there. You know what I mean? You know, throw a little bit of salt on that. But honestly, conspiracy mode activated in my eyes. I think it's about the $80 elephant in the room, or even more. It might be, right? When Nintendo announced the Switch 2 and we learned about the new Mario Kart game, they announced it at $80, and everyone was like, oh, Nintendo, you make such kid-friendly games. This doesn't look like it warrants $80. And I don't think any Mario Kart game warrants $80. I'm sorry, I'm not a game developer, but when I compare games, right, when you look at a GTA 6 and you look at a Mario Kart and you're like, Mario Kart $80, GTA 6 $80, get the F out of here, right? So since Nintendo announced that, everyone has been all up in arms, ready to take to the streets and complain. Just kidding, just kidding. But still, it's a very shocking thing that the games will be $80 since Nintendo has set this standard. Right, has officially come out and set the standard. We can expect a lot more other developers and publishers to come out with this standard as well. But why is my conspiracy mode activated here? Well, Take Two CEO, who probably bathes in gold-plated shark fin soup, or I don't know, he's got a bathtub of diamonds. I don't know, you know. Diamonds are apparently good for your skin. I have no idea. So he has openly talked about pushing value-based pricing. So what does this mean? Let me ask my translator here, my business translator. What does this mean? So apparently my translator says games cost more now. Cry about it, right? They cost more. We need to up the price. Now with GTA 6 being the most expensive game ever made, rumors say $2 billion for a game. All right, for a game. I thought 200 million was intense, but this is $2 billion, right? So with rumors saying that the game costs $2 billion to make, they need that sweet, sweet cheddar. They need to recoup that money. But here's the kicker, right? By delaying to 2026, Rockstar gets to watch how many people actually react to $80 games, right? They get to observe the market. They get to analyze and see, you know what? People are willing. If people are going to pay $80 for Mario Kart, damn straight they're gonna pay $80 or more for GTA 6, right? So they're sitting back. Yes, they've delayed to say they want polish, but I think this is just also a way for them to analyze the market, to see, to pull a spy versus spy market espionage type situation, right? And we'll see. So they get to see, all right, $80 games are doing well. Perhaps we can sell GTA 6 at $79.99, right? $79.99, bye-bye to $69.99, or anything lower than that, right? And then this is just me assuming it's $80, right? If it's $2 billion to make, there's rumors that say they could jack up the price to $100, well, according to Gizmodo. So if you check the news article on Gizmodo, $100 could be the price. We never know. We'll see, right? So yeah, and one thing to think of is that if you think this is greedy, remember that GTA Online made more money than several countries last year. Well, small countries, but still more money than several countries. They don't need this price tag. They have all the money they want. They have, right? They're from the GTA Online. I mean, they just, at this point, they do it because they can, right? They know we're suckers, take our money, Rockstar. And so yeah, that is what's happening with $80 games and GTA 6. So let's see. All right, cut to Nintendo, the magicians, the great illusionists, right? Nintendo ownership illusion. Or you thought you bought it? Think again. So let's wrap up today's video with Nintendo. And you know them, right? Nintendo, everyone knows Nintendo. Gave us Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, those two ice brothers with the picks, the crocodile, the little pink little thing that eats everything, Kirby. So yeah, we all know Nintendo for their awesome games, but we also know them for the deepest fear of copyright strikes that they like to give to YouTubers, right? They strike they have a little spot somewhere in YouTube's heart, where they just strike with force. Well, the Switch 2 is coming, and so is the new EULA. And what is the EULA? That is the End User License Agreement, or as I like to call it, the anti-fun document. Hands up for anyone who's read the beginning to the end of that document. Definitely not me. But we do have amazing people online that have gone through the document. And according to Laptop Mag, Nintendo now says they can disable your Switch 2 remotely if you violate their terms. So yeah, that $450 that you're about to spend on a Switch 2, nah, my guy, you don't own it. You're leasing it. right? You're like borrowing it for a moment. Yeah, you know, here, Nintendo, here's $450. I just want to borrow this for a while or for however long this agreement lasts. And yeah, let's see how good we go. So you don't own it, you're leasing it like an Xbox subscription. But with that comes the threat of the death screen, right? The red screen of death, them bricking your console because, hey, you decided to install something that we don't want on your console or on your system or whatever you want to call your Switch 2, right? So, yeah, piracy on your Switch 2, ban. Jailbreak your Switch 2, ban. Breathing in the wrong region while modding Smash Bros, ban. My guy, it is not yours. This belongs to Nintendo, and as long as you kiss Nintendo's ass and you sweet talk them and you take them out for dinner and you buy them all the nice things that they like or all the nice things they want you to buy, then you're fine, my guy. No bans, no worries. So yeah, that thing you spent $450 on, again, you don't own it, you're leasing it, and it's tough because, you know, everything, the way everything is becoming, I guess, more anti-consumer, right? Before you could buy Office and own a version of Office until you wanted a new version. Now everything is subscription based. Photoshop is the same thing, right? So everything is subscription based, and if you don't pay your subscription, you don't have access to these things. So I guess Nintendo is looking at in the same direction. Before you know it, the next generation, you'll pay a monthly fee just to have the hardware. I'm just putting that out there now, putting out in the internet, so you know who said it first. It was me. But yeah, this is crazy, and at least people who live in Europe will get some protections due to the actual consumer rights and laws and regulations that they have to protect consumers. But Americans, my man, and this is as far as I know, Americans and maybe some parts or the rest of the world, right? They don't have two or so many great laws that protect consumers, and this allows Nintendo to basically bend the rules to their liking, right? To be as greedy as possible. But hey, I'm sure Nintendo's execs are like, hey, listen, you didn't buy the console, you just bought the privilege of hoping we don't nuke it from orbit, right? You don't own the console, you just have the privilege to own it for now, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, to recap, Bungie stealing art. Rockstar might be holding GTA 6 hostage for $80, and Nintendo Switch 2 is basically a high-tech rental with a brick function. Doesn't look good for gaming, right? And we, like the emotionally abused partners we are, will probably still pre-order, still argue on Reddit, and still pretend we're supposed to be surprised when a $20 horse skin shows up in GTA 6. Are you still surprised at this point? After all these years and years of them pissing in our face and calling it rain, right? Are you still surprised? Because let's face it, we're not just gamers, we're digital masochists with good aim and bad spending habits. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any thoughts on what I've shared today or any of your own conspiracy theories, please leave them down in the comments section below. I would love to hear them. And if you like this content or want more of this content and you think I'm somewhat funny and okay to listen to in the morning or any time of the day that you're watching this, then please hit that like, that subscribe, and ring the notification bell for my latest videos. Thank you so much for joining me on our first episode of QTE News or QTE Gaming News. I still haven't nail on the head the final name for this segment, but thank you so much for joining. It means a lot, and I will see you on the next one. I'm out.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.